Hey guys, it is me, Simone. Welcome back. I'm sorry that I haven't been in the series. I told you guys I was trying to get this up within a week, but sadly, some things came up and I didn't have time to finish it in time. So it's gonna come up today. At the time I first started the video, well, making the prototype actually, it was gonna be like 20 something days until Christmas, and now we're at like what, 8 days until Christmas? That's crazy. But it's a cute flipper anyways. You can give it to your family members for next year's Christmas. It comes every year. Right now I'm gluing my papers together. So I cut out one piece of 110-pound paper and then two pieces of 65-pound paper for the base. And then I cut out two pieces of uh, my pattern paper that I'm going to use to decorate it. And all these different layers of paper do add a nice side base to the project. So it was really sturdy. It almost was as thick as chipboard. So I really did enjoy how it turned out. Um, it was really nice and sturdy. But I'm using gel medium to glue it together because it just adds a nice uh, bond. But any wet glue will be good because we are going to add some different kinds of paste to this later on and gesso and stuff. So I recommend that you do use a wet glue. The first time I didn't, and I regretted it. Um, I was showing you now that I ended up using chipboard as my base. You don't have to do that, but I realized with all the mediums we're going to be adding, it did bow my base more than I wanted to in my prototype. So adding it to chipboard just added much more stability to it and helped out much more. Now I'm going to make my flipper cards. So I'm just gluing cardstock to pattern paper. This was very funny to I make this. I was helping my mom watch one of my her kids that she babysits, and uh, she loves helping out. Like she loves helping out, and I was at home because I was off of work, and she wanted to help me cut things off my Cricut. She wanted to take the things off the pad, and oh, let me help you, Miss Simone. So courtesy of her, she's 3, 4. She helped me take those things off my Cricut. It was just so much easier. But you can actually cut this and do this project with dies. Um, and I told you guys I was going to provide you with the cut file that I made. So if you want to just copy and we'll use mine, you can. So I will try my best to remember to put that in the description bar below for you guys if you want to follow along with me and do this too. But if not, you can just use dies. It'll be a lot more tedious to just use dies. Unless you're gonna do different shapes and sizes, I don't know. Or you could do like if you had number dies, you can decorate the number dies. That'd be cool. That'd be nice right there. Instead of doing the card itself, your card would be the number, the actual physical number. If you had some large number dies, that'd be nice. But right now I'm using Tim Holtz Distress ink and Vintage Photo to ink the edges of my cards. I noticed though with this little dauber I have, this little finger dauber, this is from scrapbook.com. It was peeling on me. I think after doing like 40 cards, it just did not like it. It was a great tool though. It helped out amazingly. But eventually I did cut out some off pieces that were coming off the project. Well, coming off the little dauber because they were coming onto our project. Um, just gave it a nice little trim because it was annoying. And that's why you keep seeing me like pause and stop and look at it. And eventually I got tired, so you can see my scissors pop up and I try to make it better. But I think I should have used my DIY Tim Holtz dauber thing for this project and maybe just use this to ink around the hole and stuff. But yeah, I want to use up my tools that I have. Now I'm actually going to stamp the back of my cards, my flipper cards, with the Santa Claus. This is from a AliExpress blind bag that I got. It's a Santa Claus riding a motorcycle. So I don't think I'll be able to link him in the description bar below, but I'll link everything else that I can. This is the Tim Holtz stamping platform. I actually did have issues with this, but I realized it was the thickness of my stamps because the images weren't transferring that well. But I realized it was the thickness. Some of my acrylic stamps are really thin versus like a photopolymer stamp set, so it made it a lot harder to stamp um, and have a good image transfer. So I just added a little more pressure. I realized that was a problem. It wasn't like a bowing or nothing, and it worked out amazingly. I did just decide to use a simpler pattern just because the first time I did a Christmas tree and I colored the Christmas tree in, I did gifts, I colored the gifts in, and it was just too much. So I'm going to stamp all these out and then I'll come back and we're going to finish coloring them later. But I'm using scrapbook.com hybrid ink because it was on my desk and, I don't really care about having a precise, dark black ink. I have gone over and I have scored the edges. So if you use my cut file, the base that we're looking for is 6 inches wide. Okay. So I scored, I think it's a half of inch because I think I made my piece 7 inches. So I scored at a half inch on both sides. And then I'm going to put something heavy over that so the matte medium can um, dry and attach those things and not popping off. And then we're going to move over to decorating my numbers. So you can skip this step. You don't have to do what I did. I cut my numbers out on black cardstock and then I go over them with Nuvo embellishing mousse and then I go over them with some Mod Podge dimensionals. You don't have to do that. You can keep this simple and you can just cut out paper in like a gold foil or silver foil paper, whatever you choose, and glue it to your pieces. I like the way this looks though. It just having like I did not cover the black cardstock up completely. It's peeking through in certain areas. I like the texture that it gives with the very was a tough brush I'm using. This is a stencil brush from Dollar Tree. Not my favorite. Uh, I've tried some very cheap brushes before, cheaper than this one, and they worked way better. The bristles are coming out like crazy on this one, but yeah, I'm not gonna get some like maybe I'll try some AliExpress ones or something. Maybe those work better than the Dollar Tree ones. It's a shame though, because I've had some nice cheap brushes work amazing. But right now I'm going over with the Nouveau Mousse, and then I'm gonna go over. It's a gold color. I did like something gold. I can't think of it, the name of it. And then I'm gonna go over it again in Mother and Pearl Nouveau Embellishment Mousse. I can remember that name. But I'll have everything linked below if you're curious, and you can find the colors I've used. Just in case you want to copy and do the same thing. But at this time, I did not realize that I misplaced my second 8. I cut out each number 2 times for both sides of the flipper, and I'm missing an 8. I don't know if you can see that there's no 2 8s up there. So sadly, I am having to change up what I was going to do. It's not an exact copy of my flipper anymore. It's a little bit different just because of that fact. But yeah, it still worked though. And I went over these about 2 times, and then I'm going to add my mother of pearl Nouveau Mousse to this, and I'm only going to hit certain areas, like very random. It's not like I'm trying to completely recover it. I just like the look of like the worn, spots. Like, oh, this is bright gold. This is more muted, off gold kind of like color because they do blend in really well. And you'll see how it looks. And I think it looked amazing. Um, so I do enjoy how it turned out, and I'm just gonna blend them out with my fingers. And so you have like the vintage, aged, worn look of the numbers, not true gold. They're kind of like worn off, and paint maybe peeling, the black of the numbers peeking through. I like the look, so that's what I did. But you can completely skip the step. After that, I'm going to add in my Mod Podge Dimensional. I actually got this on clearance, and it has glitter in it, which she did not notice when she went and bought it. Actually, I was not paying attention that it had glitter in it. until I brought it home, and then I realized it wasn't like clear. Because I've been wanting some dimensional media for a while. I only had I didn't at the time yet get triple thick. Well, right now you'll see that I realized that I have accidentally painted my number 9 backwards on the wrong side. So I have to repaint that later, which I will do off camera, because there is a slight difference between the two, the 6 and the 9. Then the 6 has a thicker um, curve at the top than the 9 has a very thin like tail, I call it. So you can clearly see that they're different. I could have made it work if I really wanted to, but I just didn't like it because they were. If the numbers are right next to each other, you're going to see there's like one's not the same as the other. So I decided not to do that. Um, and it was really hard to even make the number work because it was so backwards. But back to the Mod Podge. At the time, I did not have triple thick, so I wanted triple thick, or I wanted to have some of the triple thick um, features. So when I saw this on clearance at Michael's, I ran and got it, and then realized I had glitter, and was like, whatever. I wanted the glitter to be in the numbers just to add some cool sparkle to them, some more sparkle. But the glitter was not coming down as fast as I wanted to, and so some numbers have glitter in it, some numbers don't. The numbers I did towards the end all have glitter because the glitter finally came down. But whatever, it happens. I'm not stressing. I'm gonna let those dry, and then I'll come back to those later on. Now that I came back, I did some touch ups here and there, but yeah, I'll eventually come back. Right now, here, I did most of this off camera just because I totally forgot to come back on camera and do it. But right now, I'm using my Bria Reese glitter watercolor inks to color the Santa Claus's nose and hat. And then I go over with some Daler Rogney black acrylic ink mixed in with some blue Bria Reese ink so it has a shimmer to go over his sunglasses. And I'll show you the bottles and everything I used um, later on. I'm going to clean up my little palette paper. No waste, guys. Waste not, what not. And I'll show you exactly what I use and what he looks like. And um, I did the same thing for all the bases. I just wanted to have something on the back, some kind of interest just in case. And those are products I used. Very simple. Very easy. If I can find the Santa Claus, I will find him and link him below. But if not, I'm sorry, guys. You can't have the Santa Claus on a bicycle like I can. You can do what you choose. Right now, I'm going to put together the gift boxes. Now, these are very simple to put together, but I was getting close to like the end. I was getting really tired, and so I kind of rushed them a little bit. Funny, and I am doing them wrong. The small ones I did wrong technically, because I totally forgot how they were supposed to go together. But accidents happen. But the smaller boxes you see me do right now, those are 1 inch, all the way around. And then the bigger boxes are 2 inches around. I want small gifts and big gifts. You can do rectangle gifts and circle gifts and all kinds of stuff. I kept mine simple. I may next year do another Christmas flipper and a different theme, and just instead for doing the card, I'll do the number itself as a flip. I think that'd be quite interesting and fun to do. Who knows? I might do it earlier in the year this time. But it's very simple to make these. So for the big ones, what I did is I'm cut the piece of paper at 6 inches by 8 inches, and then I scored at 2 and 4 inches on the 6 inch side, and then I scored at 2, 4, and 6 on the 8 inch side. And then you're going to crease all of the folds, and what you're going to do, you see me kind of do right here, is 3 of the folds are going to be tabs, and then 1 of the folds is going to be your side. So you're the middle of the box. You score your lines, you'll see that there's a middle section and then 2 outer sections. The middle section is going to be your box. 2 of the side parts are going to be your side of the boxes, and the rest of them are going to be tabs. So it should basically look like a T in a sense. So and the rest of them are going to be yeah, a lowercase t is what it should look like. That's what your box should look like. So trace out a T, a lowercase t, and then what is not in that T is your flaps and should be cut down to make flaps and add adhesive to it. Hope that makes sense. And then the smaller ones, I did the same thing. I made them 3 inches wide by 4 in. Was it 4 inches long? And then I scored it at every inch, basically on both sides. Now I went over and inked them at the end. I purposely did not ink them prior because I had some markings on them and I wanted them to be together before I start inking just to make sure I didn't ink them on the wrong side, and I was lazy. I mean, I was actually supposed to make 3 big 2 inch boxes and not just two, but I didn't feel like making another one. You know, maybe add some different flair and touches to your projects. Now I'm picking up paper. I'm telling you, I've destroyed this paper pad. This is from last year. This is a Michaels paper pad from last year, and this paper pad is barely there. Like I have used some papers because I was supposed to do a different project with them for you guys last year. I never showed that project because I never completely finished it and didn't like how it turned out either. So it's just sitting around my room somewhere. But right now, I am doing a simple way to make my cover my boxes with paper. What I'm doing was um, I cut a piece of paper to the a little bit short of the width of the boxes. So a box are 2 inches, so I did almost 2 inches, like two lines before the 2 inch mark on your ruler, and then I just glued it on and then cut the extra off. That's what I did. And I realized the tape I'm using Scrapbooking Made Simples tape. It is very strong and it's not forgiving at all. So when I accidentally messed up the wrapping of the paper and the paper is leaning to one side, it's kind of hanging off the edge, I couldn't straighten it. So I realized later on I need to add my Elmer's stick glue so I can have some time to move things around and they're not be so like stuck in place. And then I just cut down the ones to the side. And I did the same thing, just so I measure out the width of the boxes, you know, or almost the width, the same width, and then cut a long strip. For the smaller boxes, I added the adhesive to the box first. It was just simpler to do that way than to have to, for me, than to do the way I'm doing it now. And the adhesive I'm using is a tad bit smaller than the adhesive within the side of the box. So the adhesive I'm using right now is a half of an inch. The adhesive I used prior to that was 1 inch. So right now I am going to be putting everything together. So I'm using some more of my Scrapbooking Made Simple tape and I'm going to roll up the tube. This is going to be what our number cards hang off from. So it's just a paper tube that I rolled up. I first rolled it up in cardstock and then I covered it with craft cardstock to match the rest of the paper pad better. I was going to use black, but mm, my black cardstock is in a different room right now because I'm still kind of packing up and stuff. I have like getting it, and there's craft cardstock right next to me, and it technically matched better. So, that laziness came through. I decided to do that one instead. I'm going to use my Distress ink to ink it up so it kind of blends the rest of the paper um, pack. Now, I did not talk about my base because I did this off camera and I forgot to bring it back on camera to tell you guys. But what I did, the little pieces of foam, like the white foam you see on my project is foam, is a DIY concoction that I made. It is basically glitter paste that I added those small little fake snow packs to that you get around Christmas time, all those small static like balls in them. What are they called? Like fake snow bags? Yeah, those little ones. that you sometimes see in like when you're making DIY snow globes and stuff like that. I mix those in with my DIY glitter paste to make my own kind of like piles of snow, and it turned out really well. It's really cute. It has a little bit of a shimmer to it. Um, so that's pretty much it. So if you see my DIY glitter paste video, if you follow that video, then all you need to do now is just add in the fake snow and do the same thing I did. So that's pretty much it. And you can change it to how you want to. You can add different colors. Like this one actually has more of a bluish tint to it than the first one has more of a white tint because I ran out of white glitter. But you do how you want to do it. And now I'm going to add some glitter ribbon to it to add like a ribbon that wraps around the gifts. I thought would be nice to add to it. It just, for me, made the gift seem more complete. I was going to go without it, but I just loved how it looked, especially on my first project. I did gold paper, and this one I'm doing ribbon. It just looks so nice. I'm going to using that little kind of part over there you see is a piece of pen and paper that has no globe on it. I'm going to use him as my element. And the first one I used my Santa Claus that I found, my Santa Claus snowman. And this one I'm going to use a snowman and a snow globe. But you can do it however you so choose. And I'm just going to glue everything down. And I just love how it turned out with the shimmer of this one. And nothing too fancy. Like all this was basic paper, piecing and stuff. But if you want to see a better video of me explaining how I made my boxes, I can make that video for you guys if you so need me to do that. Because I don't think I explained it correctly or well enough for you guys. So let me know. Let me know. But we're getting to like pretty much the end of the project. And I just love this. I will eventually go over and cover up the ends of the paper dowel, maybe some gems or some glitter. You can put some of the snow in there too if you want to. And if you really want to, you can make this more functional, make it actually turn. You could add disc bound rings to it and, you know, cut your things down, have a disc opening if you want to do that. It's up to you. You can make this however you want to. There's so many things you can do with this. Or you can use the base that I've showed you already and make your own Memory-Dex holder. So, I mean, you have so many ideas. If you want to see me do a video on how to make your own Memory-Dex holder using the same file, I can show you guys that. You can make this whatever you want this to be and change it up. It doesn't have to be my Christmas flipper, but you see how it turned together, how it looks. It looks really nice. So all the globs of glue I use to attach that dowel in there, I'm going to cover those up with my snow paste. There you go, mixture. That's actually why and how I came with the idea. I realized how ugly it looks. And it just helps hide the glue. That's the only purpose it has, really. And it looks nice, okay? I would definitely tell you, I forgot to do this on this project, was I did go over the glue first with white paint. Just because sometimes the paste is a little transparent. And when I made this one, is a little more transparent than the last one. So that's something that you can do just to help make sure if it does dry a little more transparent than you expected, you do have that white paint background. When the camera goes off and it dries, I'm going to go over with like a dry brush and draw on some white paint. I'm going to go over the gifts now and add some snow on top of them too, just to add some nice cool touches. And now we're going to move over to adding my flippers. So I cut the ribbon and then I realized at this point I don't have an 8. So what I'm doing was I just made my countdown only go up to 50 days before Christmas. So one side goes from 0 to 9 or 1 to 0. We're going to do it 0 to 9. So 0, 1, 2, 3. And I have it arranged differently because my first countdown flipper, I had it where it was counting upwards, and I need to arrange it where it's going down because it just makes it just go better. So I made sure my numbers are going in descending order. So 9's in front and it goes down to 0. Actually, sorry, 0 is in front because I didn't want 9 to be in front. 0 is in front and then it goes from 9 to 1. So you can do how you want to. I did have an issue with my ribbon not wanting to glue together. But I'm using hot glue. You need to be careful. You don't want to glue it in place. You still want the ribbon to be loose so you can move the things around the tube. So this one falls apart too, and what I am having to do was get some of my craft mat, um, and I'm going to cut a small piece of that, glue it right there in place, and then glue my ribbon down. So just to make sure if any glue does seep out, it doesn't attach itself to the little roll, the cardstock roll. And that's really it. That's all I did. And I think this project is really nice. A cool gift to give. A nice project to work on for the upcoming Christmas season. Um, you can decorate the